It's been so long. How have you been?
Hello, I'm doing well.
Dave, why are you talking that way?
Please say 1 for a compliment or 2 for a question.
Yeah, this is weird. I think I'm gonna go.
Talking with an automated phone tree can feel pretty ridiculous. That's why when you call Pacific Source Health Plans, you'll get a real person to answer all your important questions.
Pacific Source Health Plans? This is a real person. How can I help you?
Human service, not automated phone trees. Find a plan at PacificSourceMembersFirst.com.
Menopausal and perimenopausal women, listen up. It's time to take control of your health and comfort, and Winona is here to help. Winona is a telemedicine company for menopause care who believes that your symptoms are real, important, and deserve to be taken seriously. And for many women, this starts with hormone replacement therapy. Winona's HRT is made with plant-based, bioidentical hormones rather than synthetic ones, so it better aligns with your body to offer relief from hot flashes, weight gain, and other uncomfortable symptoms. 80% of women who use Winona find relief within just 90 days. So, what are you waiting for? Get started today. Visit buywinona.com today to start your free visit. With free shipping and the ability to pause or cancel at any time, your path to wellness has zero obligations. Use code SPRING24 at buywinona.com for 25% off your first treatment plan. That's BYWINONA.com for 25% off. Winona. Menopause care made easy. Summer is the season of hot temperatures, outdoor adventures, and refreshing water activities. Summer is also the season of rough on your feet, causing dry, cracked heels and toes. Introducing Babyfoot, the original exfoliation foot peel that contains 16 natural extracts formulated to remove dead skin cells in 3 easy steps. Apply the booties, relax for an hour, then wash your feet. In 14 days, you've got baby smooth skin and your feet have never been softer. Letting dead skin cells build up over time is hazardous to your foot health. Our professional-grade DIY products, like our original exfoliation foot peel, our men's foot peel, or our moisturizing mask, are some of the best foot care products on the market, created with your foot health in mind. Pamper yourself with a spa day from the comfort and convenience of your own home with Babyfoot. If you want a chemical-free, easy-to-use exfoliating process from the company that created the original foot peel, it's time to treat yourself to Babyfoot. Go to babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24 and get 20% off your first order with Babyfoot. That's babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24.
Hello, and welcome to The Future. And also, welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast that reviews romance novels $5 and under. I'm your host, Becky Feldman, and I have just returned from the year 2059, which is when today's book takes place. Today, my guest and I are reviewing Wanted and Wired, a sci-fi romance written by Vivien Jackson. Now, I just double-checked the price on Amazon, and right now it is currently 99 cents. But when I bought it, it was $3.99. So if there is an accountant listening right now, please assure me that I can write off that extra $3 when my taxes are due. It is just the principle of it. So I'm so excited about my guests today, as are my neighbors. They seem to be having a celebratory cookout about it right now. Anyway, so my guest is one of the hosts of the super fun Podcast The Ride, actor and comedian Jason Sheridan. He's an old UCB friend of mine and such a great guest. We enjoyed this book so much, and you will enjoy this review of Wanted and Wired. It's a franchise, if anything. Well, Jason, welcome to Too Stupid to Live.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited you're here because we have like a kick-ass book we are about to review. But before we begin, I always ask my guests, have you ever read a romance novel before?
Okay, I guess the answer is no in terms of like contemporary,
okay.
If I go back to like high school and college,
Mm-hmm.
I've read like, Pride and Prejudice, or I've heard Dracula referred to as a gothic romance, kind of a, yeah.
Was it like required reading, or was it like, I feel like reading Pride and Prejudice?
Pride and Prejudice was required, and it wasn't until it was over that they explained the context that it came out in the time of like, it was a sort of a goof, right? On romance novels of the time.
Yeah, or just like, I thought it was under the impression that it was like a goof on like people at the time too. Like the whole, like it was about this world, but it was her making fun of this world, and it wasn't like people didn't realize that or something from my understanding. This has been years since I
My high school English teacher did not do a great job at contextualizing that. So we're just like, well, this is boring and we don't understand this when these customs are strange to us in 2003. Yeah. So I don't.
But do you feel like you have a new appreciation for it?
I think I appreciated it the more I got older, and some of there's been some great adaptations of it in like film and TV. Yeah. But like at the time, as like a 17-year-old ready to go to college and conquer the world, and I just wanted to read like Vonnegut and old mystery novels.
Right.
Like,
do you still read mystery novels now?
I do. Yeah. That's my main, I think. Like I read a lot of like I like a lot of the old, Raymond Chandler, Dashiell Hammett, Ross MacDonald, like those sort of older ones. It was like it's the same character. It keeps coming back and back. And like modern stuff, I read a lot. I've read most of the Jack Reacher books.
I was just about to ask. Yeah. I feel like I gotta get in on a Jack Reacher book. Jack Reacher book.
They're fun. Like this book, they're very long, but a lot of them are Jack Reacher eating at diners or beating people up. Or having sex.
Yeah. Okay. So there are like romantic elements to Jack Reacher a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen any of the movies either, which I hear the movies aren't bad.
The first movie is good. The second movie is not great. They also like take away a lot of, because he's like kind of a weird drifter kind of sort of thing. He's like a brilliant ex-military policeman, but he like was raised by a military father and traveled the world and then went into the army. And so he never really was just a person with nowhere to go. So then he just like, once he's out of the army, he just follows a whim and hitchhikes and stumbles upon. So I think like that old Hulk TV show where like the Hulk goes from town to town and ends up helping people's problems.
Okay, I can see the Hulk doing that. Yeah. Sure.
So I read those, and then I read like the stuff that we intellectual creative types, like the stuff that we feel like we have to read. George Saunders and like one best-selling thingy here. I don't know. I'm a slow reader, but too. I buy books a lot. It's like a vice.
Yeah, I'm a slow reader too. I can buy like 12 books at a time. Same with like romance, and I'll just like, I'll read this in a day. I know some people can read a romance novel in a day, but I'm just like such a slow reader, and I get easily distracted by like, if I'm reading on my phone or on Kindle, I'm like, what's on Twitter now? And so it does take me a while, even with like the shortest of books.
Yeah, which I listened to the Chris Farah episode, and I was a little like, there are 90-page ones? I fucked this up.
No, you didn't.
I messed this up.
Some people request a shorter one, but you didn't, and
I didn't.
So you fucked this up.
I read this like I read this when I was down the shore, visiting my folks.
Okay, yeah. It's a good down the shore read.
It's a good down the shore read. Had to like hide the iPad when other people were around when it started to get a little horny. Although no financial domination in this one.
No
FinDom.
No FinDom.
You guys did miss my favorite part of FinDom, which is the subs are usually, I believe they're called pay pigs.
They are? Oh, fuck. I gotta look into this more. I just like the idea. Well, I was telling Chris, like, I just like the idea of, like, I could go on Twitter and just easily make money. Like, what an easy way to make money. Yeah. Even though there's, like, I'm sure at some point there's going to be it's going to be considered some sort of criminal act, but I
think there's different levels of it, like with everything, where it's like there's some people who are like, here's $100. Yeah, like you guys were saying, the shoes. Yeah. I know there's some people who are like, ruin my fucking life, empty my checking account, kill my credit. Yeah.
And what does that mean? Like, are you turned on by this, or do you have like want to like end your life somehow? I don't know. It's sad, but look, who am I to judge folks?
Yeah, but hey, that's all cool in the future world.
It is cool in the future.
Everything's
wanted and wired.
Yeah. Anything goes.
Anything goes. You're absolutely right. I mean, should we get into it? Should we get into this world of anything goes, of Wanted and Wired? Okay. Well, Wanted and Wired is currently $3.99. a little expensive, by Vivien Jackson. Okay, so here's my synopsis, and you can correct me, because there's a lot going on in this book. And I tried to kind of condense the synopsis as much as possible, but okay, here I go. All right. It's the year 2059, and climate change, corruption, and other terrible things has turned the world into utter disarray. The United States is now the United North American Nations. Texas has seceded, and now the Texas Provisional Authority reigns over the chaotic land. Meanwhile, the sexy and salacious Mary is a gun for hire whose partner Heron is a total hunk and a post-human, a person who is enhanced with technological capabilities, like RoboCop, which is what I assume. Okay. But Heron is still a man who will do whatever it takes to keep Mary safe when she's set up and accidentally murders the husband of a senator. But as they're on the run, there's one thing that can't be hidden, and that one thing is how horny they are for one another. So that kind of sets it up. I felt like there's just so much going on with this book, and I was like, oh my God, how do I condense this into a single thing?
Yeah, I kept messaging you, and I hope it wasn't a bother. I kept messaging you there is a lot going on in this every time because it swings so wildly from sci-fi world building to just horny, just horny with no outlet.
Exactly. And I know that people who doesn't like reading horny passages, but sometimes it felt like it was a little too much, where it's I am barely able to wrap my head around what the fuck nano means in this book, what a free fae is, and now all of a sudden they're gazing at each other and thinking really dirty thoughts, and I'm just okay, wait, hold on. It's so fast,
Yeah, they didn't set that up. Okay, so nanotechnology is it's used as a MacGuffin, I feel in fiction and also in life.
Sure.
It's just any really, really small technology.
Yeah.
Free Fae I had never heard, and I think was a thing they invented, which I was
under the assumption too.
Yeah, kind of sentient, little microscopic.
So Free Fae is nano-robot. I thought, my understanding was Free Fae was nano-robot, nanites or whatever. Yeah. And they were formed into humans or whatever.
It seemed Chloe.
Chloe, that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
But then there were also light fixtures at one point. They kept talking about Free Faes and people giving them, banks giving them away or people on the street. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a catch-all.
Yeah.
But then Chloe is a free fae with
but it's
sentience and a soul and
Yeah, and because there was which I'm sure is going to come up in some book of whether or not Chloe has rights or not. And it's well, that's an interesting thing to think about. Do a person made of tiny nanites that also are made of lights have rights? Can they vote?
Sure.
Can they vote?
Most importantly, can they fuck? Because I feel there
was a part where Chloe was said some horny things at one point, and I'm what are you right now?
Well, she was inside Mary's body. This is so far.
We're so
into
far
the story.
and we're talking about the end, but just to keep everyone on track, Mary gets shot, and with the technology we have in the year 2059, this free fae goes inside of Mary to heal the wound, and for some reason this free fae is turned on. Why?
Yeah.
I didn't catch.
Yeah, she might be into it. It seemed like they were alluding to some sort of future group sex.
Yeah,
with
I'm sure, maybe
2 people and the free fae.
Or it seemed like one of the Chloe might be falling for someone else in Heron's, how he has that crew with the it's a spaceship, but it flies through Earth. It seems like maybe her and someone else on that crew is gonna hook up. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Okay, but before we get even deeper, do you want to look at the cover and describe the cover? And I also encourage you to read the the review that's on the cover.
Sure, I think that was the first thing I texted you about.
I know, because it was just it kind of, I think the way that Dorinda Jones is quoted here kind of epitomizes the tone of this book.
Have you... no, I listened to past it. Have you read Dorinda Jones'
I've never read
before?
it.
Okay.
I don't think I have. It's hard for me to
I'll be honest with you. I'm the worst romance reader in terms of it's hard for me to pay attention to authors' names. And in this world, it feels like everyone, kind of like, I suppose, like in the world of graphic novels and comics, people know authors, but I only know prices.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of comics. It's weird with comics because I've read comics all my life, and I know a lot of names, and it wasn't until like I started going to conventions.
Yeah.
And later on with the internet where there's, audio or video interviews with people, I knew how to pronounce them because you're just reading these people's names.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, and I mean, to be honest with you, like for me, it's like that with like most words too.
Yeah, that's not.
It's like what happens when, it's okay. I have to say it's okay. Yeah. I have to forgive myself. Okay, so go describe
so the cover
yes.
is like, it's a badass, sexy lady, future lady with a big futury gun, standing in like a desert with lightning in the background, and she is badass, which we learn every 5 pages that she is badass. The review on the cover says raw, smart, quick-witted, mouth-watering. Dorinda Jones, New York Times bestselling author. I think they say don't judge a book by its cover, but I think the cover is what sold me on.
Oh my god!
On this one.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I think the background is also really cool. Like, the sky is very fiery, so kind of the world is on the brink of, some sort of apocalypse. I guess I loved this cover. I thought it was great, but there was a part of me that wished the male character could have been on the cover too.
Yeah,
just because. I'm going to be calling him RoboCop. He's a RoboCop. He has all these, like, technological features.
Yeah, I would call him a RoboCop.
And it's like, well, we want to know what this guy looks like, too. Like, there's really good descriptions of him, but, like, it would be cool to, like, see, like, what the author... I know this is probably, like, a stock photo and whatever, but, like, it would be interesting to see, like, what the author was picturing.
So I was picturing, as I was reading this, there's a couple movies of it. There's an anime called Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Which they made into a big budget movie with Scarlett Johansson. She got in a bit of hot water for playing an Asian character. But these are the lead characters of Ghost in the Shell, whose names I don't forget. And this I don't remember their names, but this is what I was kind of picturing.
Oh, okay. What a hunk. He looks like a Dolph Lundgren with, like, no eyes.
Yeah, he's got weird, like, plugs in his eyes.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know how to picture the lead heron because it seemed like he was very hunky, but then it seemed like he was also very lithe. And then at some point did they say he had like Arab-esque features and a hippie upbringing? That was like so late in the book, and I'm like, this is coming out of nowhere.
It is. I dig it. I do think he's Arab, and I what was confusing to me is that yes, he's for a while it seemed like he was kind of maybe skinnier, a little scrawnier than maybe she was. And it was like, are these like tech shit? Is it like they talk about like skin flaps being open and like whatever.
Right.
But does he have like any exterior tech shit on him? Like a, I don't know, a USB port in his wrist or something?
I think that was all like in the back of his neck, right? Like they peeled out the back of his neck and there was like a port.
Okay.
And that's how he would hook into things. That's also how he got hacked by those mercenaries.
Yeah. And so more or less it was kind of like, every time they would talk about his, like, skin flap opening, I was thinking of Vicky from Small Wonder, because she has, a panel. And so I was, like, thinking that, okay, maybe he's just, like, a Vicky from Small Wonder. But he has, like, qualities like RoboCop.
Vicky's from Small Wonder, but a tall, hunky man with Arab-esque features, and everyone around him is horny.
Yeah. And he also... Yes, and that's another thing, is, like... Yes, Mary and him are like horny as fuck, but then like everyone else is too. It's a whole.
I guess it's the end of the world.
It's the end of the world, and it may as well. Yeah.
There's a lot of for a book with so much world building. There's still stuff that I'm a little vague. There's still stuff of like. I guess this is either like not that important, or they're gonna fine tune it in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely the whole book. I'm like, oh, we're setting this up for a series. You can just tell like the way. Yeah. I guess maybe because I have read so many of these books, and I'm sure it's like that maybe with the like Jack Reacher and other books where they like will introduce side characters or introduce a side, even like a side like. Plot that isn't fulfilled within the book that you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be the main plot line of like the second or third book or something.
Yeah, a lot of stuff with like even the Travis McGee books, which was like a best-selling series for years and years. That he is the original retired detective who lives on a houseboat, which The Simpsons, a million things have parodied. That and similar to the Reacher books, and I think the Reacher author even wrote new introductions for a lot of the McGee books when they've been reprinted and reissued. A lot of them you can kind of, they want you to be able to jump in wherever because they're being sold at like books, airports and supermarkets in addition to bookstores and stuff. But if you read a bunch of them, like characters come back or you get a bigger sense of the character. And every now and then there'll be a book with a cliffhanger, but you don't have to read it.
Yeah, that's mostly like this too. Cause I think like, you're just like, I read off of Kindle and you just like get what's recommended to you and you're just scrolling around and you don't give a shit what order it is. And it's like, okay, I'll read the second book in the series and I can enjoy the second book and still understand it. I know. And then if I wanted to read the first book and then finish the series, I read a lot of series out of order, I guess is my point. And it's still like enjoyable and stuff. So
sure. Yeah. I don't think it's like vital for a lot of genre stuff.
Yeah. It's smart. I think it's smart because we live in a world where like I watch a ton of TV and that's so serialized and you can't just like pop in during season 2. Or something.
Which is kind of a little bit of an exhausting thing of peak TV.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, did you come up with a tagline for the book?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm really excited for this.
How do I sound okay?
Yeah, you do sound okay. Yeah.
All right. My tagline. So just to set this up, this reminded me the build of the book from when Mary, who I think the entire time I was reading it, I was calling her Marie for some reason.
I mean, again, this is when you read quietly. We don't know.
We don't know. So from when after she assassinated the senator robot, who was actually just a human senator, and then they were on the run for so many chapters, reminded me of Terminator 2, where like, Sarah Connor is a very competent, capable killer, like, and a badass lady, but sometimes even they need help. So with a nod to that, my tagline for this book is come with me if you want to nut. And
that's great.
Come is C-U-M.
Oh, wow. You got down and dirty. I love it. Yeah. I had a hard time coming up with a tagline because I wanted to capture the tone of the book, the way this book is written, the way the prose is. So this is what I had. Fuck, period. Yeah, period. That's my tagline. Fuck, yeah.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
You think that works? Yeah. Because like the Dorinda Jones's wonderful review, the way we have like adjective period, that is like how that is the tone of this book. It felt like it was written like a movie pitch. Like there's so many passages that's like Mary liked it dirty and dark. Not in that order. And it's like, it felt like I was in like a movie pitch session and someone was like, wanted and wired, hell, earth, love, and
some real like nerd movie shit too. Like some real Rick and Morty ass. Not even like the writers of Rick, like the fans of Rick and Morty trying to write. There's some real like literally epic bacon, leet speak nerd shit in here. The author bio and no judgment on any of this stuff because plenty of people love this shit and it makes a lot of money. But Vivien Jackson describes herself as a devoted Whovian browncoat Sindarian Jedi gamer, which is so many.
That's all the nerds.
Fandoms.
Yeah,
it's all the nerds. Yeah. It's all the nerds and very serious ones too. So that is a lot.
But it's like I respect it. We live in a world where, at least maybe 2 years ago, maybe now, where it's like you're competing to see like how nerdy you are, like what's the most nerdy you can be. Do you understand all these references? Do you watch this? Do you watch that? And I feel like Vivien Jackson just nails it. She's the ultimate nerd.
She goes for it. I mean, I would love to consume things like that without irony. Unfortunately, it kind of strips away when you work in the entertainment, especially comedy. It's just like, well, there's very few things I consume at all without 3 layers of irony surrounding it.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I want to like Doctor Who. I wish I was a normal person who could like Doctor Who, and I don't know what's wrong with me. It's my greatest flaw.
I mean, that it's been going for so long. Like, that is the thing I never found a spot to jump into. My dad and brother really like it. I'll watch it with them sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the actors they've had play him in the modern times, they're very charismatic, interesting actors. Dave Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, although I don't know that he was anyone's favorite Doctor Who, but like as a comedic performer, like
he's good.
In the thick of it, he's great.
Yeah. I mean, I just like these are okay. It's not all my shows when I watch these things. I'm like, it's not Buffy. This isn't Buffy. Like maybe I'll just watch Buffy.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah.
It's just it's so much of this stuff. I'm just like, oh, it's kind of not for me. I think when I was younger, it was for me, and now it's just like. I mean, I've always just been an old man. I've always like had the tendencies. You said earlier when you let me in, we were talking about something. You're like, I don't do fun things, and I'm like, oh no, trust me, I hear you, sister.
Yeah. I just am like, I don't know. I go to museums. I don't know.
I mean, that sounds museums are great.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to read a sexy excerpt from the book, and if you don't mind setting it up first a little bit?
Sure. Okay. So. Marie, and Heron, who is her savior, and he has a crazy actual name, but his like code name is Heron, or the name he chose for himself, or whatever. Oh God. Okay, this is kind of long. But
it's fine.
I'm trying to figure out where to stop in it. Okay. So this is in chapter, what is this in? Chapter 4.
Okay.
So they've been on the run for a while. So Marie killed what she thought was like a mech clone.
Yeah.
Like essentially the same idea. It's like a Blade Runner, like a replicant, like a very human-like android.
Yes. And what's interesting is that it's a replicant of people who are real. Like it's like
real.
Yeah, it's like clones of people. So like essentially if I was a high status person, kind of like Natalie Portman in the first Star Wars, where she had like that clone that looked like her to protect her from being assassinated.
Oh yes,
yeah. So it's kind of like that. Keira Knightley.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So they've been on the run for a little while because she just killed like a senator, and she got this job from the Texas Provisional Authority, who is like essentially Texas has seceded.
Yeah.
And it's also like a bunch of tech dorks running Texas now, which I thought was actually pretty timely, like libertarian tech dipshits running Texas. Like that adds up. That I thought was pretty prescient.
Yeah, it's a technocracy, I suppose, which is the term they use, which I learned was real. I thought it was like, another thing she made up. Like, no, technocrats are real.
Yeah. And so they go on the Heron gets her out of there. Heron's like her... what they say in that last Spider-Man movie, the guy in front of the computer?
Yeah, he's like her handler. But they're like they call each other partners, but I do think he's a handler.
Yeah.
Seems like,
And normally Mary, when she completes a job, she gets the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And then she fucks her feelings away with strangers in an exotic locale.
Yeah, she's just like horny as fuck, and that's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're both on the same page of how fucking insane that is. Okay.
Yeah. Also, she took this job not just for credits or whatever money, or she's hoping to get info for her father.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Her father's been kidnapped or jailed.
He's a brilliant scientist. They weren't sure if he was dead or alive, but it seems like they have info on him. I thought it was a little on the nose, but I can't fault it because too much because it is written by a woman of like, the unquenchably horny woman has father issues.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I mean, I will say, I know I'm keeping,
it happens. I'm not saying it's,
I mean, it's a thing. It feels like, it's just another female character that she's defined by the male character in her life, and I just have, I take issue with that.
Oh, all the male characters. Heron, Nathan, her father.
I know. She just, is come on now, have women in your life. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm keeping you from reading this hot excerpt.
They're on the run. They eventually get to the Pentarch, which, if I understand correctly, is a giant underground combo, mall and city that Heron has kind of taken over, and that's where he keeps his precious thing.
Yeah.
He is also some sort of scavenger archaeologist. He is
he's an art smuggler.
He's an art smuggler. He's a catch-all, he's Indiana Jones kind of. Yeah. But then the feds and drones and mercenaries, a bunch of people show up and start chasing them. So they're on the run, and they hide out in this one little apartment, this little room, and then they start, it's a really tight space, and they just start fucking going at it. And she is in a tiny robe.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I'm like, what are you wearing? She's not wearing clothes.
Yeah, she's not wearing clothes. Also, for a badass, she fires a gun twice.
Yeah.
She doesn't get in a lot of fights.
Right.
So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So they're squeezed into this face. And this is chapter 4, and they finally make a move on each other.
Yeah, it finally happens.
Finally. Okay. This is how it starts.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That was the best part. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but I loved it. I got very excited.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep reading until, I go, that is enough.
Okay, great.
The flame-retardant metal door pressed up tight and cold against Mary's shoulder blades, but the heat radiating off this kiss off his hands was hot enough. It might just set the whole Pentarch on fire anyhow. The coarse terry of her robe scuffed against the one nipple he wasn't pinching. Oh my God. And she longed for a similar friction between her legs. A rub. His fingers. His cock. She was wet for him. It would be so easy. Her index finger straightened, and she let the duffel slip to the floor with as controlled a shush as she could manage. But really, her mind was elsewhere. In that moment, she wasn't thinking about the security drone outside or the feds or the job or even the poor schmuck in the next room. All she wanted right then was for Heron to pin her to that goddamn metal door and fuck her until they both hollered like banshees. I'm going to skip a little. Let's see. She gets the robe undone. There is one. Let's see. There's one part. She moved her feet apart. They're slowly taking off clothes. Okay, here it is. A few paragraphs later, this passage. His cock swelled against her knuckles, and she turned her hand sideways, sinking her thumb hard against her clit and her fingers firm against the bulge in his pants. Come on, partner, right here. And then he did the unthinkable. He stilled. God, Heron, don't you dare stop now. And then Heron's sassy Southern mom shows up after this.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That was a bummer to not see the full this sexy moment come to fruition. But you know what? It's had to happen. It was the almost sex part that happens in most stories.
I figured that seemed like a trope. I was into this.
Yeah.
But then I got a little hung up on the physicality of his cock swelled against her knuckles, and I was trying to move she turned her hand sideways, and she had her thumb on her and his finger against the bolt. So she was doing a fucking Howie Mandel finger thing. And
I mean, look, there were. I agree. I think sometimes there's just it's hard to be her left hand was there and his right foot was there, and it's I cannot see this. Just maybe kind of take a bird's eye view of aspect of this and kind of be more simple, because it just felt like it was what's it called with what's the thing where you spin in and it's right hand on blue and left hand on...
Twister?
That's the one.
Yeah.
I was about to say tic-tac-toe, and I'm like, nope, that's not it. I don't know. Again, I don't like
Pretty
fun.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hate game. I talked about this on an episode of Podcast The Ride recently, but I think I did at least, but when board games come out at a party, I'm just I just clench up. And
I know.
It's God damn it, I taught myself how to have conversation with friends and strangers and acquaintances and switch on and off depending on what level it was. It's I did all that work learning for nothing, and now we gotta do the we gotta play the okay.
Yeah, it's frustrating, and I hear you. And I was thinking the other day of how much I hate white elephant parties. That to me is the worst game. When people get like
with
gifts.
the gifts.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, this game is called Let's Be an Asshole to people who got something. Like we're giving each other. Anyway, sorry, I'm like going on a tangent.
It's one of those settings where you're like, God damn it, I just want that fucking $10 iTunes gift card.
Exactly,
like everything else is just funny Like
I know, yeah, and I'm just like, okay, you gave someone a gift, and now this other person's gonna be like, I want that. Like, do you know how lucky we are that we live in a world where we can like fucking play games like this, and now.
Yeah, anyway. Garbage gifts. That's the other thing.
It's garbage gifts. Yeah, like who wants these fucking gifts?
You know what? Parties are great. Dessert parties.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Everyone brings different treats, and we all talk about what treats are the best.
Or like parties. Like I would love a party, like 45 minutes long, 45-minute long.
Oh, that sounds
party,
great.
And then I just go home because that to me is like perfect. I feel like I am totally digressed.
No, it's
majorly.
Fine. It's a podcast.
It's a podcast.
It wouldn't be a podcast.
It wouldn't be a podcast if it weren't me venting about things that I just really get under my skin. Unimportant things that get under my skin. Okay. Well, all right. I guess I will read my part now. So here's the thing about Heron. He also is able to connect to the cloud. And the cloud in this world is sort of like a cloud that you and I know.
Yeah.
Where it's like the internet. And Heron can connect to the cloud. And that also means with his mind, he can also like control helicopters.
Yeah.
With his brain. He can also like if I'm at a computer, he can send me a message or type something up through his brain.
Through his brain cloud. And also, at one point, read minds.
And read minds at one point. And another thing is that he can also, like, feel... So if he's, like, connected to a car or vehicle or whatever, when someone, like, presses a button, he feels it. So... Heron and Mary or whatever, they're in a car, like, on the run, and in Heron's car there is this like stick shift thing where it's the trigger to like a cannon or like some sort of gun. And so when Mary touches it, Heron feels it, but it seems like the way it's written is that this like stick shift thing he feels it in his dick. And so when she touches it, he's turned on. So I'm just going to read this section. Okay. So, so she has found this stick shift thing, and they're on the run, and it's... Being prey didn't feel so stark as long as she had a weapon in her hands. Especially this weapon. That's the stick shift. She cricked her index finger, and the emplacement shifted, responding perfectly to her touch. The barrel was way too short for a conventional load of this caliber. Might be electromagnetic. Whatever its inner workings, she was pretty sure it was fully integrated with the car. And so she suspected with Heron. Mary firmed her fist on the gear shift, slipping her palm down to the base. A corresponding twitch fluttered over his jaw. Holy crap fire. He felt it. He felt her grip on the stick, felt her shifting the cannon, felt her palm tracing in metal the shape she would like to be making over his body. The certainty bloomed simultaneously in her mind and between her legs. You'll have your chance in about 7 minutes. His voice was tight, clipped. And then, okay, so now I am going to read another section, just to skip a little bit, but like the bad guys are in range. Okay. If the communication system was in range, chances were their guns would be shortly. Mary armed the cannon with a switch on the base, and then, keeping her eyes on target and her whole body aware of Heron beside her, she slid the pad of her thumb over the brushed chrome button on top. He jumped like he had been pinched. His hands gripped the steering wheel so hard he nearly wrenched the whole thing off. Mary contained a grin. No, he wasn't immune to her. And yes, he was getting direct sensory input through the car. Hot damn. Fucking hell, Mary. What? She said in her most I have no idea what you mean tone. Oh, this was fun. Now, about that section.
Yeah, sure.
She...
Seems normal to me.
It seems normal to me. See, this is what was bothering me about this character, is that they were both so horny, and they had weapons in their hands, and they had a hard time focusing on, like, you know, taking down the enemy, saving themselves, because they were just, like, thinking about fucking each other the whole time, and it made me nervous for them, because I'm like, what if they're making eyes at each other, and, like, suddenly there's a... You know,
there's a robot.
There's
a robot with a big gun.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my God, you guys, focus. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they... Spoiler alert, everyone. They finally fuck in Chapter 8.
Yes.
It's like 8... and honestly, I thought it was a little anticlimactic.
It was.
Because the nanites are also making, like... I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan, but, like, in Star Trek, there's the holodeck can make, like, any room or any location or anything.
Yeah.
So similar to that, where they made this beautiful scenic outlook in Austin.
Yeah.
And that's where they fucked. And then they woke up and it was just a bedroom.
Yeah, and that was frustrating because I do know the holodeck in Star Trek, and so they were talking about Mount Bonnell in Austin, but then they were like, and then they went on the futon, and then it's like, well, there's a futon up on this
the
like
futon.
thing.
I was confused by.
It was very confusing.
Yeah.
And so, but I get it. Like if you're in a holodeck and there's certain. I have many questions about how the holodeck works. And,
sure.
It's like, well, okay, if they're taking a mud bath in a hologram thing, is an actual mud bath? What are we doing?
Yeah.
But here it's like it made sense. But again, it was just like hard for me to picture, you know, when they're here and they're not, like, what does this specific room look like? That being said, it was a hot scene. I'm glad they finally got together, but I don't know. I think with like other books that I've read of, there's something about like you're on the run with someone and you're attracted to them, but you know you shouldn't be sleeping with them, and so you do have that internal conflict, which I wasn't entirely feeling with the two of them. Which was interesting, too.
Because of how much they were saying it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say that. And then immediately says.
They immediately say it. Yeah. And, like, then, okay, well, I guess I'm going to spoil it. But we learned that... Okay, I'll spoil it. I don't care. Mary is also... We learned that in the end that she is also a tech clone.
Kind of? Or she's at least partly?
She's at least partly. And then they reveal that, like, some part of her is part... sex robot. Did you get that?
Oh, they alluded to, because the senator's wife, who is also a senator, had the actual robot senator, and she alluded that his base, like, chassis or something was a pleasure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess designed to be horny, which is a little...
which is weird, and I was like... Weird. That was so glossed over, and why isn't Mary thinking, like, what the fuck? That's the reason why I literally can't control my thoughts? Like, it was just like, she's just like, okay, cool. Anyway, where's Heron?
But she may have also died in a prison after being tortured.
Yes.
But then the queen robot may have saved her.
Yes.
There's a lot. And clearly Angela Nico, who we only meet, like, in the last chapter, clearly set up.
Oh, she's going to be the love interest.
She's the love interest in the next book with Kellen, the cowboy.
The
cowboy farmer.
Yeah, who is also a member of, like, Heron's ship,
like a tech engineer, a hacker.
Yeah, he's man of all.
He's everything,
jack of all trades.
Yeah, that is the one thing that kind of bugged me sometimes. Is like, well, so many of these characters are jacks of all trades. Like, I feel like with any genre, even in comedy, like you have to. If you set up a world, even in a skit, you set up a world, you set up the rules of that world. And then you play within it, and when you break the rules, that's where the, drama, or that's where the comedy comes from. This had so many shifts that, like, Heron is so omnipotent by the end.
Yeah, and I had a difficulty with this character because he is a RoboCop. He is an Indiana Jones. He is also a scientist who had worked with Mary's scientist father. Yeah. And then he's also is so powerful enough, almost akin to the way Edward is described in Twilight, where Heron's like, if you're with me, I may hurt you. Like, if I really let go, I could hurt you. And that's kind of like this thing that Edward says in Twilight. So he's also like that. But then he also, like, caused a hurricane. He caused Hurricane Agatha. Did you get that? Like, he was doing some science thing, and he basically is responsible for, like, kind of the world being destroyed.
I think he ran, like, a simulation, and then her father stole it and used it to make a giant, crazy fucking hurricane.
Got it. So he's not directly responsible. Okay, but he feels guilt because he's a tormented
But it's
character.
like when people make a technology that is then used for devious purposes, they feel
you
guilt.
feel like shit.
Yeah,
okay, I get that. But again, like, I'm just like, he really is everything, and it was just, like, so hard. Look, I get we all have nuances and we all have many talents and whatever, but, like, it was just so hard to pinpoint, like, who this guy was. Like, Mary, I knew who she was. She is an assassin. She is a victim. She also has this huge sex drive. Like, I really understood who she was, but Heron was just, like, this, like, kind of felt like he was, like, every single male protagonist in a romance condensed into one, also a robot.
Because he can perfectly control his horniness.
Yes, yeah.
Like in a way that she cannot. And I feel like, I mean, this is one of my favorite things in fiction, especially like not young adult, that sounds weird, but like adolescent, like college stories and stuff, when there's a character who is, this is one of my favorite things too, like just on the internet, seeing people who are like horny, but directionless, like rudderless, like they don't know how to express it, and it just comes out sideways.
Right, yeah.
And so but there's so many fucking incels and volcels and freaks on the internet that are the nefarious version of that, but then there's also just like knuckleheads versions of that too, but Heron has it locked down. It only comes out when he allocates hard drive space to be horny.
Which I will say, like, that was interesting. Like, because the way she sometimes would describe, like, what he was feeling, like, I wrote this down. It was they're like making out and something, and she writes like, his electricals lit up like fireworks in a bioscan, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
That's
it's so interesting. And then I was like, robots would really like this story.
Robots would like that story, especially the second time they have sex the next morning, which, okay, cool. Yeah, before you gotta do all this more action adventure stuff, boarding set. Yeah, if you have a chance, terrific. We all love it. But then he like turns his fingers are magic fingers, like the old motel vibrating beds. Like he has vibrator fingers, and then his dick also like has magic vibrating.
He's basically
stuff.
Was like, I am going to go on shebop.com and see all of these toys that women like, and I'm just going to become that, and did. But it also seemed like he would touch her. He could like touch her shoulder, and she would just like have an orgasm.
Yeah,
right
she
away.
would just
and
come.
So he was just like the best kind of man.
Yeah, and his coming, I was confused, but like it was barely described.
I was like, listen, I'm worried if he has an orgasm, he's gonna like zap her and she's gonna like explode. And he's like, because he's a robot.
Yeah. Like so much of the book is so horny, but some of the sex scenes they kind of like blitz through. Yeah. Which, if I'm giving her a lot of credit, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's sort of urgent, new lust, need sort of thing. Yeah. But also, it's like, I feel like you can draw this out a little. Like you've already gotten pretty graphic with how horny your characters are. Like, give us a little more in these scenes.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there is. I think there is an art to it, and it is like because there are books I've read. I'm like, this is overboard. They need to stop this. They need to go to sleep. She needs to pee. She's gonna get a UTI. Like, this needs to stop. But and then there are some like where it's like, oh, this isn't enough. Like, we need the whole thing. And so I think like, I felt that way too. With this, of like, this needs to keep going. We need to like see this come to an end and see how they feel and feel their inner kind of monologue a little more. But I have a question, which I think the book kind of points out is it okay for a human person to fall in love? Is the love real with a post-human? Can you fall in love with a robot?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, by the end, they're both a little human and a little robot. Yeah. And Marie used to really hate the robots. Like, she really did not care for them. And then really had a change of heart, came around.
And also,
by
we
the end
kind
of
of
the book.
think that she's a robot.
She might be at
a
least a little robot. Honestly, I thought it said it. There was one odd moment in the book where she said, like, when she was talking to her aunt, and the aunt was like, "You having a baby? You pregnant yet?" And she said, "No way!" Like, she in her head, she's like, "No way!"
Yeah.
Unless Heron froze some stuff beforehand, but I don't think so. And I'm just like, is this? It seemed like such heavy foreshadowing. I was like, is she gonna be pregnant by the end of the book? But then,
I thought, like, oh, maybe, because, women are getting their eggs frozen, and I was just like, maybe
sure.
there's, like, a process to, maybe he's doing that.
Before you become a robot, half robot.
Like, you get your, serve your years as an assassin, and then when you're ready to settle down after you killed everyone you needed to kill, get your eggs, and you have the children that you want to have. Yeah, that was weird. I didn't even think about that. Or maybe she was like, maybe Heron, like, before he became a robot, like, froze his sperm or something, and then she can use that sperm to impregnate themselves. And also, why the fuck would you have kids in this world? This world is so fucked up.
Exactly. That may also just be, like, a personal pet peeve in, like, movies or books where people just go at it. And I'm like, well, what birth control methods was everyone using?
I have that problem, too.
It's the stupidest neurotic, like,
totally, yeah. Because it's like, well, and I feel that way, when I read historical romances and others, where they don't talk about using any type of birth control, it is bothersome that I'm like, well, she's going to get pregnant, and then maybe she doesn't, maybe she does, and then I'm like, well, she's pregnant too soon. What an easy plot device to use. Pregnancy again.
My man's pull-out game better be strong.
I know, exactly. Yeah.
The electricity hasn't been invented yet.
I know, like, yeah. And it's like, what's that feeling? I missed my monthly, as they would say.
My terrors.
Yeah. Why am I not hysterical? But I'm hysterical in a different way.
Is it okay? I mean, I guess they both seem on board.
Yeah.
They both seem on board. They both seem into it. I thought the conference room scene was fun. Like,
I thought that was like, I think that was like my favorite sex scene, because I was just like, in terms of how ridiculous it was, in terms of how redonkulous that entire end scene was. And I was like, okay, like, there's something nice about when, like, there's a sex scene and, like, they're free to be themselves. They've had sex once. They got through that awkward kind of first time having sex thing. Now they know who they are. They know what they like. They realize they love each other, and it's just, like, a very passionate thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, again, that scene was...
That also
weird.
seemed like the most, and maybe this is on purpose, the most, like, human. Like, there's not a ton of robot shit going on in there.
Yeah. But I thought, well, I'm just going to that scene. I guess I'll just talk about it. But it was weird, like, Mary is saved. She is encountering the senator and the senator's, like, robo-husband clone. And she's sitting on Heron's lap the whole time. And it's just, like, being defiant.
For pages and pages, having conversations.
Yeah, like, what would you do if you were, like, having a confrontation with someone, the world is on the brink of war, and she's standing up for, and, like, someone is standing up for themselves, but they are sitting on someone's lap with that person's hands around their hips. Are you really going to take that person seriously?
I feel like this happened, like, at the end of high school when everyone was losing their mind, but no one wanted to actually hook up or commit to again, horny but directionless.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of lap sitting and stuff.
Yeah.
And just even having conversations about, are we going to see the Bourne identity this week? Like, trying to think about what I remember doing the summer after high school. I feel like even then it was weird.
Yeah.
I feel like even just talking about, like, oh, yeah, I got to go to orientation in a few weeks or something. Mm-hmm. And even then it was weird, let alone when the fate of the world is hanging in the balance.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my God, it was just like, I don't know, I just was, like, remembering her outfit. She was wearing, like, a corset top and, like, a flowy tutu of a skirt. And I was like, it's weird because, like, I think you mentioned this when we were discussing the cover. She's wearing, like, this cool, like, warrior, kind of style, little, like, what is it, steampunk-esque inspired thing. But she doesn't wear that in the story itself. She is so sexualized. For a woman who, like, can be capable, and she's a killer and an assassin and a warrior in her own right. The author does like sexualize her with how she dresses, which I thought was like kind of
She's in a short, like janky old terry cloth robe for pages and pages and pages, running from the police.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, if the reader, let's say just based on statistics of who reads romance novels, if it is primarily women, you know, it is like something that like stuck with me of like, why did this need to happen? This feels like it was like almost written by like a guy who's like, I'm gonna write this and picture a naked lady or something, you know, and it just like felt so weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree. There were times where I was like, a woman wrote this.
Yeah. Or not. Maybe, I mean, Vivien Jackson could be a guy, but I'm pretty sure.
I think it is, because that seems like the picture, the author picture seems like an actual personal picture.
Sure. Totally. Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry, Vivien, you are a woman. I'm sorry.
And, I don't know. My the lizard man part of my brain was reading this a little, was like, when are they gonna fuck? Like, let's get to the action.
I mean, look, everyone is every reader is like that, you know, like you're just talking about it so much from the beginning of the book. What's so interesting and like I thought such a great choice on the author's part is we come in with them already attracted to each other. There's no meet cute. There's no, you know, like,
they have a history of working together.
She just got to it. She's like, these two want to fuck and they don't know if they should, and it's like great. And if that's gonna happen, we need to get to the fucking a lot earlier, you know, because we've just like have like really kind of upped the rhythm of the story.
I thought it would happen a lot earlier in the whole book, would just be them looking for moments and stuff.
Absolutely. It was, but like I said, it was an interesting choice on the author's part. What was something that, and it could be plenty of more things, that you found like the most ridiculous about this story?
I think it was when they were, okay. So, once we haven't even gotten to the satellite, where they hide out.
Yes.
So the
Chiba.
Queens.
Yeah, the Chiba station.
Chiba station.
I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Where like the queen, who is like a super intelligent, sentient android mech clone creation of Mary's father made, because Heron got fucked up when they were running. They took sanctuary in the satellite. He is transmitting transmissions through like virus nanites in his body. And the like signature on them are from Nathan, Mary's ex, who abandoned her on a job years and years before she worked with Heron. So she's like, all right, I'm going to go find him in Texas, because Heron's trying to fix his brain in the satellite using the ship's computer and going outside of his body. This is so much.
Right? Thank you.
She gets back down to Earth. There's a clock ticking for the limited amount of time the space elevator from the satellite can get to Earth. So she gets to Texas. She finds Nathan. Nathan knocks her out, and they take an autonomous car, a truck, and they take that to the desert.
Yeah, it was like
he pulls a gun on her, and she thinks like he's going to kill her, and then he jacks something into his thing, and her father starts communicating to her through Nathan's body.
Yeah, he marionettes, I think that's the term. He marionettes, okay.
That comes up a couple times, which I did think was like some of the sci-fi stuff in this I thought was interesting and pretty solid.
Agreed,
and I think this is when I kind of knew, like, this isn't all going to get resolved by the end of the book.
Right,
because there's so many loose threads, and there is a sequel. And both are available on the Hoopla app, I found.
Hoopla,
yes.
Is that?
It's one of your local library likely has an account. LAPL has, like, Overdrive, Hoopla. They have all these, you just punch in your library card, you can borrow books, comics, movies, CDs, audiobooks. All right. Anyway, I found both these books on there, plus the audiobooks. Which are like 12 and 11 hours long each, which are that seems like so much.
Oh, this is a good road trip listen to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you don't, if you don't get too horny. I'd be concerned about getting too horny.
Look at all these cars that like drove into stop signs because they were listening to this book. Okay, anyway.
So Nathan, her father confronts her, and Nathan shows, and then Heron, who always has a plan. He's like a Boy Scout or Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible. He'll figure it out. He knows. So he has a bodyguard.
Named Victor.
Victor.
But she calls him the Viking. He's like a Viking.
Yeah. And she thought he was, tailing her the whole time. And he was really protecting her.
Yeah.
He shows up in the desert and he shoots Nathan a couple times. Heron also shows up operating an attack helicopter.
Yeah.
And also Chloe shows up, I guess, in the attack helicopter. It got a little murky at this point for me. But this is when so many threads keep coming together.
Yeah.
And eventually Heron just fixes the transmissions himself.
Yes.
Like you
really didn't need to do any of this shit up in the Chiba station.
Anything. And I think I set up my expectations wrong that there's still a lot left to go because the Kindle tells you how much
like what percentage you are. Yeah.
Yeah, what percentage. Later I realized that included the thank yous, the afterword, the epilogue, and also a preview of Perfect Gravity, the sequel.
You didn't? Okay, yeah. See, I'm like, okay, I know I'm 25% in, but I'm really 30% in.
Yeah, I had a feeling there was something, but it wasn't until I looked at the Amazon store that it's like, oh, there's a sequel. So then I was kind of like, oh, so this is going to kind of wrap. And that was kind of the climax because then they go and they have this meeting with Angelico and her robot non-husband.
Yeah.
They fuck in the conference room. And then the epilogue is Heron talking to Kellen the cowboy about you got to stop avoiding everyone. I know what you're avoiding. You're avoiding Angela. And but he just wants to tend to his animals and tip his hat. He's constantly adjusting his hat.
And it's funny you bring that scene up because one of the ridiculous things I thought about this book was the character of Yoink. And Yoink...
Oh, the cybernetic cat.
The robo-cat.
The robo-cat.
I'm like, okay, this is cool. Felt like very Whovian, I suppose. Or so what a nerdy, kind of Groot-esque cat character that's popping up. I thought that was silly, but Yoink was my favorite character.
Chloe, too, is also like an itch. She's like a free-floating human sentient cloud of nanites that can look like a human and then also go inside of people. And she's very chipper. They program medical information in her. And they also programmed kind of a personality. It seems like they were alluding to programming her ability to fuck, maybe, because it seems like she's into Kellen too. Yeah,
which again brings up an interesting point. Can humans and tech be together? What are we? I mean, I'm all about yes, let's do it, but it just brings up interesting questions.
Sure, I mean, there's all this talk in
what is love?
Sex robots. Now, how far away are we from this?
I mean, I think
future?
There are sex robots. They're inches away. But does this mean love? Can you have a loving relationship with a machine? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, but it seems like in this book, yes, which I think is an interesting take. There was just so many for me, so many phrases in this book of that I wrote down, when they were in the car and the Heron has to come to a quick stop and she Mary needs to reach up for the handle and the author calls it the oh shit handle. Yeah. And then there was another line of Mary just wanted to kiss him and pour a bunch of hell's down his throat. And I'm I love this. I love this because it's this author is taking a tone and sticking with it.
Yeah, having the time of my life. Look, I am not exactly the target audience for that part of the book. But I was this person, this person knows her audience because she is her audience.
Exactly. And I just so appreciated it. And on that note, is there any, what were some things that you were legitimately liked about the book?
I mean, I like that it was ambitious in the world building, even if it didn't always land it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Heron's like little crew of weirdos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I don't know. I mean, I liked the horny bit. I liked when they were getting it on.
Sure,
that was fun.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I also like, just as like I kind of admire and kind of just like think it's very funny, like very on the nose setting up sequels. Like I watched the recent Murder on the Orient Express remake with Kenneth Branagh.
They wanted
recently.
that to be a sequel?
Well, no, but they set up, so it's a Hercule Poirot, and that's another like it's one of like Agatha Christie's main characters in tons of short stories and novels and stuff.
Oh, okay.
The Murder on the Orient Express and Death of a Nile are like two of the most famous Poirot books. And at the end of the book, he gets off the Orient Express, and a policeman comes up to him and says, "I'm looking for the detective," and it's like, there's been a murder. I have to take him to Egypt immediately. There's been a death on the Nile. And it's like, the same thing happened. I saw some of the movie version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy recently, which was a book I love. Like, I read all of those books when I was like 12 and 13 and stuff. And the second book in the series is called The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. And at the end of the movie, they're like, well, what do you guys want to do now? Oh, I'm kind of hungry. Oh, I know this restaurant at the end of the universe.
God.
And I'm like, man, really nailing it. So this, I think did do a better job, because it did like just kind of allude to the Angela and Kellen stuff. And I kind of sped through the preview of the next book.
Yeah, I read a little bit of it too. I think I like the same things about this book too. It definitely, like, with these side characters, you know, she did develop them to the point where I'm like, I'd be interested in seeing, you know, if I had time, seeing where this was going. And like I said, the tone, I agree. This was such an ambitious thing that the author did, and I think it worked really well. How do you feel about the Happily Ever After? Like, were you glad that these two got together?
I was,
yeah. Same here. Yeah.
Because I feel like they set up the you know, the want and the longing. I think they set that up pretty well. And I think like they both found some peace of mind at the end, especially when Heron like released his brain, this essence into the cloud, but then was able to still operate. And there was a line of like, you know, it's not the same, it's just different, but it's not bad. So I thought that paid itself off well. I also, you know what I like too, the reading the author bio, and it's like, oh, she lives in Texas. So like some of I was like, oh, the Texas stuff, like, if it was a Yankee like you or I, like, trying to write this, it probably would have been lots less real. But there's not a ton of like Texas kind of stuff, but there's bits and pieces, and I was like, oh, this works.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was just in Austin, and I was up Mount Bonnell, and I was like, really? That's so great. Yeah. So there were like kind of like hints of like, oh, this is how funny that I'm reading this at this point.
What is your connection to Texas? Were you just looking for a trip? Or,
I just went on vacation, and I just had like always wanted to travel alone, and I thought that like Texas was a good first step, and I chose Austin because everyone says it's such a cool place. And you know what? Even in a Chiba Station holodeck, man, Austin seems like a cool place.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Do you have any final thoughts and a rating?
Oh.
The rating is A through F.
Right.
Plus, minus. Oh, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is my first like modern dime store equivalent romance novel.
Yeah, I would say like whenever I ask for a rating, like how much did you enjoy this?
I enjoyed it. Like I said, I thought it was a little long, but again, I know like especially like mass market like sci-fi, but like people love length. People the longer the better.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy it. I did this when I did the Teen Creeps podcast where I was like, I gotta read these books. I also accidentally picked a trilogy.
Right.
And I was like, I gotta read, there's a deadline coming and I gotta have notes and funny jokes. And so, but I think I did enjoy it. I'm pretty good at like, even if something's like not my favorite book or something, like I usually finish it. And at some point I get caught up in the story. So I'll give it a solid B.
Solid B. That's a good one. I gave it a hard, solid B+. I thought I would have given this an A if I just could wrap my head around the tech stuff some more. It was just, there was just like so much I had to keep track of, and like the idea that I don't know, I read these on planes and just sitting around my house to just like unwind, and the idea that I had to like keep notes and like, remember like what this word means and that word means. It was a little much. I know a lot of people like that, and I definitely appreciate that, but otherwise, I just thought this was just so fun. The world was so great. I loved Mary. She was a great character. And so, hard B+. Yeah.
Great.
Cool. Well, listen, thank you so much for being a guest.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you enjoyed the book.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much to Jason for being a guest today. You can follow him on Twitter at Jason Sheridan, and you can listen to podcast The Ride on your various podcast listening platforms. And you can follow this podcast on Twitter and Instagram at TSTL Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.